What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. Reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. Nice. What's good, y'all? Sixth element of hip hop. We are in the building. I am your host, Reno Noir. This is your co-host, Stu Dog. And we got Raw Talk, Real Deal in the building and Bloodshed Books.
Captain Nemo.
What's happening?
What's good, y'all?
Right.
Pimpton Nemo. We got, Stu Dog trying to win $4 billion over here. He said he gonna be.
Get it. Listen, I'm gonna get it.
Pimpton Nemo.
Get it. Don't sleep.
And listen, when Stu gets $4 billion, y'all gonna know it because Sixth Element gonna be syndicated.
But that's the thing. You gotta meet him. He's not coming back to you. He's gonna tell you where he's at, and then you gotta be where he's at. Is that the thing?
He gotta come out to see to the coordinates that I give him.
He's just gonna send me the coordinates. Yeah, you gonna pick me up on the chopper. There's a chopper on top. The chopper gonna land me on top of the sub, and we're gonna be.
Man, I was going all out with the $5 billion, man. I ain't gonna pray. The choppers and submarines.
I told y'all what
Oh man,
$5 billion. I'll take over a small African nation, build up an army, have my weapons all on the borders.
You gonna be a warlord, an African warlord?
Yeah.
but adding to the problem. Part of the problem.
Man, I'm gonna play that $5 billion like it's a game of Monopoly. I'm gonna have a hotel here, property here, this right here, that right there. Like I'm gonna start with 5. I'm gonna end with way more.
See this how look. See, this how we know you ain't rich now. This how you gotta have visions. You gotta have crazy visions, Bloodshed. You gotta be like, yo, I'm gonna dress really weird. I'm gonna live on a sub. I'm only servicing to charge the batteries to power my submarine, and then I'm going back under. That's it. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If I dock myself, I got everything. I got a small army on there. I got a small security force on my sub. I get off the sub. I go get some fruits and vegetables, and then I go back out to sea.
Hold on. We never asked. How long is this gonna go on? Is it just like for a little while until you're ready to come back, or you just that's it?
No, that's forever. I'm not paying taxes.
Oh, you just captain. You just Zissou.
Because I'm going exactly.
You life aquatic. Really you Bill Murray. Bill Murray on the Zissou.
That's how I'm getting.
Okay.
That's how I'm getting. Reno, when we broadcast Sixth Element, we're gonna do it at sea. We're gonna be like, yo, we out here in the Black Sea chilling hard. Sixth Element.
Every major city, I'll have a bat signal just for me.
That's it.
I come get you.
Yeah. Boom. Bat signal in the sky, and they'll know.
Just please have me on as a guest. I do have Verizon, so there's towers all over the place. You feel what I'm saying? So I probably will be able to connect with y'all down there. So just hit me up. Send me the email. Keep me on the list. While y'all down there.
See, I'm not coming, but I'll chime in.
I'll be connecting with the aliens.
Word is bond. So y'all, sorry about the delay, man. We was in a heated debate about the lottery. No, I'm just kidding, man. We had camera technical issues, man, but we are here, Sixth Element of hip hop, and we got some interesting things to talk about. I was hoping that my man's Cooks 24, y'all know Cooks. He recently has been away. Recently had a family tragedy and basically is back now and is down to hop on and kick it with us again. And he's actually got a cool little YouTube show going on called We in the Car, where they basically riding. They get like local MCs and they ride in the car and do like an interview while they ride and freestyle and rap in the car.
Oh, that's dope.
It's dope. And Yeah, so we wanted to talk about that if he makes it on. I know he said he was doing some they're actually working on an episode right now, but you can check them out on his on JJ All Day. That's what it's called. And yeah, you could check them out on their YouTube channel and see that anyway. But if they come in, we'll get in depth in that as well. Let me answer Slade's question right quick. He got a question. He said, "Why don't they get a Canadian to play Wolverine, aka Logan accent? Because don't nobody want to hear, a boot to stick you with my claws. It just the Canadian accent is just not cool. I'm not gonna. It's just not a cool accent. But I don't know. What do y'all think? Y'all think that actors should have to be the nationality or whatever of the character?
I
Or
feel that they
acting?
didn't go with a Canadian. They went with more Australian because, like you said, one, it's not a cool accent. But accent aside, when you think of the hardest Canadian, like in your mind, the toughest. Are you scared? Are you intimidated?
It's
But
just
then
not.
when we see of Australians, they be
Well,
fighting kangaroos and they like they're known for their strength. They're known for their ruggedness. You feel what I'm saying? Canadians are not. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't.
no.
I guess by perspective, aesthetically, it's
It's a
kind of
solid.
like
It's a
Well,
solid. It's a solid theory.
in your defense, bloodshed. Nothing good ever came out of Canada except for Celine Dion and Rush. That's it. That's it. Nothing else good ever came out of Canada.
and I'm sorry, I'm not scared of Celine.
I mean,
I'm sorry. She
we
doesn't
got
she doesn't
Drake,
strike me. She doesn't strike fear in
and
my
we got the
heart. You know.
Toronto
Marlon,
Raptors.
you
And we
got
got the Toronto
McFarlane, you
Raptors
got a
recently.
few other
Yeah, we
people
got
out
it,
Bro,
there.
but
it's a
You
other
know,
than
lot.
that,
yeah,
other
Drake
than
had
that, nothing.
claws.
Hold on,
No,
y'all.
I
no,
still hit him.
yeah,
You feel
nothing
what I'm
good ever
saying?
came
So
out of
it's kind of
Canada.
like
Nothing good.
it's not
Yeah,
it's
yeah, nothing
intimidation.
good comes
It's
out of
supposed to
Hey,
have
Canada.
that,
hey,
yeah.
still,
And then the accent does help. So
if we didn't have McFarlane out of Canada, we wouldn't
Jim
have all
Carrey.
shit. Jim Carrey.
It's a lot of
It don't count.
Canadian.
It
It's
don't
a
count.
lot of
It don't
Canadian
count.
gold.
No,
Man,
no,
we
they
wouldn't
don't count.
even
They
have
don't count.
hockey if the brothers up in
I'm
Canada
talking
didn't
about
make
straight
it.
Canadian. They don't even sound Canadian. I'm talking about straight Canadian. I'm talking
Are you
about
talking
rep
about the
Canada.
French guys, the French Canadians?
Yeah.
Canadians.
Jim
Je
Carrey don't
want
rep
live.
Canada, and neither do Tom McFarlane. They don't rep Canada. They be like,
Yeah,
oh,
Jim
America like a
Carrey.
mofo.
They're
Jim
Nah,
Carrey,
Canadian.
they rep Canada.
Yeah.
not
They
like
rep,
they
they
should.
rep.
They do a little bit,
And
not like they
old
should.
boy
I'm talking about
Deadpool.
real Canadian.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on.
And they came to America and got their talent, so it don't count.
Come on, don't nobody listen to that. If you from Canada, we don't. That's not Sixth Element does not believe that.
Dope, man. I've been up to Canada plenty.
Canada is beautiful.
It's very dope up
I
there.
just went
It is
recently and it's
beautiful, and it's
beautiful.
cold,
They
Word.
doing
and
something
it's
right
cold,
up there. So
and it's
we're
cold, and they
not
got the
yeah,
Toronto
no, don't
Raptors.
think that.
Yeah, it's cold up there, and they got the Toronto Raptors.
They do.
The money looks funny, but it's cool. That's about it.
That's what all the ball players say when they go up there. They be like, I can't handle their
It's
taxes
expensive
up
as
there.
a
Miami
bitch in
was
Canada. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
they
front.
roll out.
It's
Yeah, they roll out.
expensive. They want some
Yeah, they be
money.
like, I can't handle. Yeah, they be
I
like,
was
I
like,
can't
yo,
handle these
what is
taxes up
y'all's minimum wage up here? If you don't mind me asking.
It's high up
there.
there.
$7.28 because they're
Mm,
Canadian. Like I said, nothing good ever came out of Canada. But Celine Dion and Rush,
mm, mm,
I'm telling
mm.
y'all.
Mm.
It's a lot. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. We don't believe that.
And
Uh,
everybody likes Celine Dion, and everybody likes Rush.
I can understand Rush
Prove
I
it.
don't
more.
like
Prove it.
Celine Dion at
Jim
all. I don't know
Carrey
what
is like
who
one
likes
of, if
Celine
not
Dion.
my one of my all-time favorite comedians. So
But I do fuck with
I
Rush.
mean,
See that?
And
Well, there you go. I rest my
that's
case. I rest
all
my
right.
case.
Well,
My
let's
case
rest
is
the case.
rested.
He's resting
My
the case.
case is rested. It's
John
rested because
Barenthal,
everybody like Rush. Everybody like Rush.
John Barenthal's anti-hero, the Punisher, is going to
Hmm.
return to the world of Marvel in Daredevil Born Again, but the
There you
size
go.
of the role may have
It's gonna
just
be
been
violent.
confirmed.
It's
Well,
gonna be
we'll see.
violent.
It's reported in March that John Barenthal will be reprising his role as Frank Castle in Disney Plus's upcoming series Daredevil Born Again.
Mm.
After the casting, rumors began to swirl that Punisher could, receive his own Disney Plus show, and then Barenthal, was seen in May participating in some firearm target practice. likely in preparation for his comeback. And then, according to the official copyright listing by Marvel Studios for the Daredevil Born Again show, actor John Bernthal will serve as one of many of the actors in the series that they listed. In the entire list, Bernthal was named just behind Charlie Cox, who of course is going to play Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio, the great Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, and since Bernthal was included as one of the main cast members and listed so high up behind the two main actors, it suggests that his role in this show, will be more than just a cameo. What is that sound? What is beeping and booping? I'm sorry. Some booping and bopping over here. Let me get this.
That you? Yep, there it is. That must be his camera.
You're on mute.
Yeah, I know. It's technical bullshit, y'all. I'm telling you. Listen, I'm putting it out there right now. Hold on, let me put it out there. Let me really put it out there because I'm dead ass. I've been doing this show for like 2 years, ain't never made a penny, and this is how y'all can help a brother with a new camera. There you go, right there. Ain't no shame in mine. I'm putting out good ass content for y'all. Bet. All right, since Bernthal, all right, we got Matt Murdock and Frank Castle fairly have a complicated history, as y'all know. Bernthal appeared in season 2 of Daredevil on that Netflix show, which I thought made it dope as fuck. They got as violent as they could, Stu. It's Netflix. They could have gone straight horror, but of course it's Marvel, you know what I'm saying? So they can only do so much. I would love to see them go to Daredevil route with a Punisher. I think Punisher should be. I don't think the Punisher should be done unless it's done in rated R. But I do think Bernthal is definitely the right guy for the character. He killed it. Yeah, he really was dope. But he obviously boasts a different, fighting style than someone like Matt Murdock. And the two don't necessarily see eye to eye, but Frank historically is not a fan of Kingpin either. So whatever the case may be, it seems as though Bernthal will have, a major role to play when Daredevil releases on Disney Plus, which is expected to be early 2025. So that's dope, man. I'm glad because I don't know, Stu. Did you ever get to watch Punisher, or you just you boycotting it, or what?
No, I watched it, but I always have my issues with the fact that it wasn't as violent as the comic is, or they don't portray the Punisher to be the like you're not gonna have the Punisher in the comic walking around in his feelings, thinking about his family, staking people out. Punisher knows what he's going to do, how he's going to do it. He goes in guns blazing, he kills everybody, and then he goes back and then he kills some more people, and then he comes out and says, "You have been punished." That's it. That's Punisher in a nutshell, and it's violent. Sometimes he goes and robs the people that are doing bad. Like he'll go rob a drug dealer. He'll go knock down a mob boss and take all his money and say, "Hey, listen, somebody's got to fund this war." Because Punisher is always at war with crime. That's why he's the most deadliest vigilante alive. And they don't portray that in any of the Punisher movies, except for Punisher Warzone. He was violent in that. He was very violent in that. He killed everybody.
Hold on.
That I like.
Just a minute.
But as far as
You said something earlier that y'all were discussing in the last show that actually sparked a lot of curiosity. I was actually, when I was watching, in my mind, I was like, okay, y'all were saying this movie should be rated R, but it's rated PG-13. The PG-13 kind of deterred you from basically from what it could be. It seemed like you guys took that as like maybe snatching potential out of the visual of the story. Am I making sense? Like the the rated R to PG-13. My question is, why? It's 2023. PG-13 is the early 2000s rated R. As society gets more and more desensitized, that PG-13 and R rating gets hella blurred.
Yeah,
because it was on TV. So it's kind of like you can still tell the story.
No, that's fine with a little bit of stuff, but when you're talking about Punisher and you need to have heads exploding and shit like that, that's different. That's another level. That's you can't. That's PG-13, rated R, very definitive. Adding a couple of cuss words, bending the rules. Yeah, they've definitely gone. PG-13 has definitely gotten a little crazier, but I'm talking about literally the blood and violence that you would have to have for a decent Punisher, portrayal.
Yeah.
But I have seen that in PG-13 movies. I've been watching PG-13. It's like, this is PG-13? That's what I'm saying. Is that you actually, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Wait, I appreciate
sometimes that
bro.
line is hella blurred. For real.
Dead up. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, that line gets blurry, man. But like I said, I'm talking about Punisher. I don't know what the movie is you're talking about. What movie were we talking about?
And there's several, but the number one thing that comes to mind.
She said
Oh,
whatever.
the one that we were saying that was.
I mean, there's no
one
specific movie that.
No, there was one. There was only one movie that we talked about being PG-13 or rated R.
No. I just meant in general. I wasn't talking about specifically.
You weren't talking about nothing that we were talking about.
No. She just said in general.
I thought you were
referring to something matter what it is. Yeah, it could be.
Just like culturally, as time goes on, you know what I'm saying? Like PG. There's been movies I see now that are things on TV. I'm like, yo, but like 15 years ago, you would look at that and be like, You feel what I'm saying? It's weird how society shifts and that PG-13 gets closer. It's a little like you said, a little raunchier. They put things here, put things there, but now it's kind of culminated up into something that you could get that gore and that violence, and you'd be looking and you'd be like, damn, that was PG-13? Because I've seen several things that you feel what I'm saying? Like maybe I'm so old. Maybe that's what
no, I get what you're saying. That they don't quite have to be rated R to have a lot of the stuff that people look for, but I agree with you on that for a lot of the stuff. But Daredevil, Deadpool, Punisher, Invincible, shit like that. That's got to be rated R.
Ultra violent.
Has to be rated R.
Yeah, like when Punisher got the War Machine armor in the comics, he didn't waste time thinking about how moral it was. He didn't go stalk out the criminals. He immediately modified the suit so they couldn't track it. He modified the suit to be more deadlier than it was, and he went on a rampage and didn't stop. I don't even think he stopped to eat. He just went out and just started killing everybody. Like it was just, and he painted a Punisher symbol. That might have took him the longest to paint a Punisher symbol on the front of it.
Punisher is a perfect story of when the predator becomes the prey. That's why it's so glorious to watch. You see what I'm saying? It's like word, but at the same time, it's kind of like when I guess when it comes to Punisher, what has there been a rated R Punisher movie? I mean, since Dolph Lundgren, has there been a rated R?
Nope.
The movies are always Punisher. I think the movies are rated R always.
They are. Are they? Oh, see, I ain't even know. That's what I'm talking. That's where my viewership is. I'm like,
but I'm talking about this John Bernthal, this Netflix Punisher, which is no longer even the Netflix. Now it's the Disney Plus Punisher. I mean, you talking about a Disney Punisher. It's like, do we even want a Disney Punisher?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I see where it's at. I see where it's at. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, now I see it. I'm on it.
Some characters are just better left alone when Disney's the one making the movie. But again, like I was like, when I heard Disney was buying Star Wars and Marvel years and years ago, I was devastated. I was, that's the end of it. That's the fucking end of it. Because I just knew what Disney was. They were going to Disneyfy everything, and that was going to suck. Yeah, for the most part, it pretty much did. They
it sucked for the adults.
They put a lot of money
and made it, like you said, it's Disney is for kids.
Well, they and they put a lot of money behind it, so there is a plus there. I mean, I'm glad they did that because there's a lot of money behind, from Disney coming to push, movies that we would have never got and shit like that. That's a cool aspect of it. But I was just worried about the storytelling part, Disney making things Disney, shit like that. Like they have little, toddler Princess Leia running around in Obi-Wan for no reason. That's Disney. No one else would have done that but Disney. and they ruined the fucking show, destroyed it, made it unwatchable for me and a lot of fans that I talked to, and shit like that. That's what I mean. You know, I knew that was coming years and years and years ago, so it don't nothing surprise me.
Yeah, well, with Disney, you got to understand also what they're making. They're trying to push product.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, because
Yep.
we sometimes we think about toys,
Right?
We got to think beyond that. We talking about bed sheets,
Yeah,
brushes, all the shit, even cereals and shit
yeah,
like
shit
that.
that ain't even related to toys.
Yeah, they're trying
Yeah.
to push product with these brands. So whenever
Mm-hmm.
they trying to make something kiddie, it's intentional. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like with us in mind. They're like, nah, we're trying to get these little motherfuckers over here.
To say, mommy, buy me that. That's all they
Exactly.
doing.
Yeah, they're ruining it for the adults. But
Mm-hmm.
Disney is not for adults.
No,
Disney has always been for
traditionally,
children.
yeah, for
Do you
children.
feel what I'm saying? So they're making they're
Right.
catering like they always do. Lion King, they had a little adult jokes. They had the little adult Easter eggs, so everybody can enjoy. It's supposed to be for the family. But like you saying, these ain't family characters.
Characters.
You
Right.
feel what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. Disney got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's pros and cons. We got to give and take. The fact that they put all that money behind it, that's dope. And the fact that we got to soften a little bit of it, that's the con. But if it was, I'm happy because honestly, we know what superhero movies were like before the MCU and before so I ain't got no problem. Like keep that's cool. Because if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have the shit we got. The Punisher can be okay if you
We
write it
understand.
and
Yeah,
use clever kill scenes that lead up to the clever kill scenes that lead up to the violence, but dude got to lose that southern accent. You're not Shane anymore, my boy. Yeah, he hitting that. He don't do the New York accent very well.
No.
no, he doesn't. And then remember the first Dolph Lundgren, he was you're the
Yeah,
guilty shall
Dolph
be
Lundgren.
punished. And they had
That
palm trees in New
accent,
York.
Dolph's
They had palm trees in New
accent,
York. Like what? There are no palm
boy.
trees in New York. Like I
That
don't
was
get
the
that, bro.
worst,
They
bro.
just
Shout out
that
to
shit.
Ray
They just
Stevenson.
yeah, it was.
Shout out to Ray Stevenson, Balon Skull for doing
Yeah,
the illest Punisher ever.
yeah, yeah.
And you know the
Punisher
craziest part is that movie came
Warzone.
out the same. That movie came out the same year as Batman, '89. That movie came out the same year as Batman.
Yeah.
What
That
the
that
what
that
movie?
was that
The
was the
Ray. I'm
time.
talking about the Ray
Punisher.
Stevenson.
No, not
Oh,
that
You
one.
were
The
talking
first
about Dolph
Punisher with Dolph
Lundgren.
Lundgren.
the
The Dolph
Lundgren.
Lundgren one
Yeah,
came out the
yeah.
same year.
That
It came out the same year as Batman.
that was the time of vigilantism was popular.
Right.
I think also a Death Wish came out that year as well.
They did.
Probably
But you know,
part
Raw Tech
6.
that killed me. You could have made. They made all these good movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Steven Seagal. Why couldn't we get a Punisher movie like that? If you, I mean, you got these people that wrote these movies,
You
Marked to
did.
Death, Hard to
It was
Kill,
the 80s.
all that,
Dolph Lundgren was right up there
and
with
we
him.
got Dolph Lundgren,
You did. Dolph
and
Lundgren
we
was
got
right up there. Dolph Lundgren in the 80s was Van Damme, Schwarzenegger,
no, 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 no,
Stallone,
not
like
the
back in
actor,
the
not the
day. Like,
actor. I'm just saying the story, not the actor blush. I'm just saying the story, like the way it went, the way it all folded out. Like Raw Deal, like if you ever saw Raw Deal, know how he. Well, matter of fact, what was it? Hard to Kill. How they shot him up. He came back. Then he went and found everybody and killed people that tried to kill him. All the cops. It was years later. Like why we like Punisher? It was dope the way they set it up. Punisher, you got he's supposed to be in New York with his palm trees. It's Dolph Lundgren with his bad accent. He barely killed anybody. He had a trench coat on. I don't know what made them thought that a killer is cool with a trench coat. I don't know what that. I don't even know what that was about. He never wears the Punisher symbol. I don't understand. I don't understand how we got good movies that were violent, but when it comes to Punisher, they tone it down all the way down. I don't get it. I'm never gonna get it.
because
Yeah.
Punisher traditionally was a violent character, even in the comics.
Mm.
I was
So
gonna
being
say,
that it was ultra violent, they had to tone it down because they wanted to get a certain rating so they can make money. That's bottom line. It's
that's
like
exactly what I was gonna say. The violence would have overshadowed the story,
because
so
if you
you would
think
have to scale
But
it
we
back to make it, I guess, watchable. I mean, if you want to,
But
I
think
mean, I
about
hate
it,
to
right?
say that,
Think about
but
it. When they tell
everybody
us
has.
we can't see something, how bad we want to see it.
Mm.
When Debbie Does Dallas came out, we all wanted to see it. We knew it was triple X, but we wanted to see it just because it was triple X. It wasn't showing in no theater, but we found ways to see it. That's my point. Make it ultraviolet, people gonna want to see it. They're gonna come out. They're gonna say, "Well, it's ultraviolet. I gotta see it. I want to see it for myself." That'll get you. That'll get you best movie of the year alone.
Well, maybe that's why, for the most part, it didn't last in movie theaters and went straight to VHS. You know,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
you know,
And then Batman came out, and it was just a totally different, but it was
But
good.
you got to look at it too.
It was good.
Each Punisher movie was in the box office for a minute. They
mm.
all
Yeah,
made
you're
money.
right.
That's
Well,
rare.
the ones after.
That's rare
Yeah, the
for
ones after.
for a
Yeah,
story about all of them have some success, some more than others, but that's actually rare for a franchise to every
Yeah.
movie. Everybody kind of agrees like, yeah, I dug it. You know what I mean? Like you disagree with certain things, you wish certain things had happened, you wish certain things didn't, but at the end, he was like, it wasn't bad. Like yeah.
Yeah. Well, the new synopsis for Daredevil has been revealed, offering some insight into where Daredevil and Kingpin are going to end up in Daredevil Born Again. Uh, when it comes out, courtesy of the U.S. Copyright Office. It seems that both Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk will attempt to leave their respective alter egos behind. Of course, this is not probably going to last long, but basically they're going to. Um, well, here's what it says. Marvel Studios presents Daredevil, in which longtime rivals Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox, and Wilson Fisk, Vincent D'Onofrio, try to leave behind their darker alter egos to serve the people of New York, only to have their pasts catch up to them. In the first episode of the series, we are reintroduced to the world of Daredevil. It's not going to be like a direct continuation of the Netflix series. So, unfortunately, if you were a big fan of the Netflix series and you were hoping that they were just going to continue on that story, they're gonna more like reboot it, soft reboot, as well as this log line, which seems to match up with the rumors that the series will take inspiration from the 2017-2018 comic book arc Mayor Fisk, which
Oh,
finds the Kingpin running for mayor and other shit. And so, sorry, American Assassin, Dexter, Homeland, the director Michael Cuesta, who is expected to helm at least one of the episodes. The main cast, including, of course, Charlie Cox as Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, John Bernthal as Frank Castle, aka Punisher, and Margarita Leviviva as Heather Glenn. Further casting information offers more clues and includes Michael Gandolfini. So that's Tony Soprano's son, the act, as Daniel Blade, Sandrine Holt as Vanessa Fisk, Nikki M. James as Kristen McDuffie, Janiah Walton as BB Urich, Clark Johnson as Cherry, Artie Frushan as Buck Cashman, and Sabrina Guevara as Sheila Rivera. The while Charlie Cox is coming back as Daredevil, the it's the same as the Netflix iteration, but it does make some changes. Like I said, it's not a direct continuation, and they said, let me read this thing. We've only just started shooting. I think we're a couple weeks in, and the show is going to be very, very different than the Netflix show. And it's so exciting because what we're doing is quite something. I think it's something that people are not going to expect, but always with these Marvel old comic stories that are being revisited and reinvented by us actors and the writers, the main thing to answer is to answer to the fans, to give them what they want, but try to be original in some way at the same time. And so that's what we're doing on the show. It's definitely an original way to look at this, and it's really deep and really emotional. End quote.
See, that's the problem. Why we got to be emotional all the time? Why we got to be deeply emotional all the time? Put the character in the costume and let me get some deep emotions about how he fighting crime and how he just want to do what he got to do to save the world and the earth and the planet. Like that's what I want.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah. I don't
I'm
think they
tired of him
mean that
just
it's
being
going to
a
be
killers.
sensitive.
Like
Yeah, I don't think they
they
mean
mean that,
sensitive.
They mean that,
So
They mean
you
that.
said this
They said
before.
really deep.
Student, you
They
said this
mean that,
before. You said you don't want to deal with the politics. You want to hear a good superhero, takes out a villain's story. So is that kind of like the same? Like you don't need to know, you don't like to be in
No,
vet, you
I
don't
don't
need
need
to
to
know
dive into their
everything
psyche.
about this character's
No,
life to be
no, I don't need to
emotionally
dive in their
invested in a
psyche.
good story.
No, no, none of that. No, it makes no, it makes no sense to me. We all know Daredevil's story, and we know what drives it, just like we know what drives Batman. We know what drives Superman. Like
Mhm.
But
right
that
now, you
gives the
got James
richness
Gunn.
of the story. That's the richness of the
It
writing.
it does, but Hollywood writers don't portray it as well as comic book writers. So like James Gunn is about to do Superman Legacy. Superman Legacy is based off of Superman for All Seasons. When you read Superman for All Seasons,
Loosely.
they take four they take 4 seasons to tell you what makes Superman Superman, what makes him him. They throw some villains in there and they do some things. He do some Superman stuff, but it really is just about his legacy and how he's portrayed and saw from the eyes of the public. Normally, when we read a Superman comic, we're looking at it from like a third person perspective.
Mhm.
But when you read Superman for All Seasons, you're looking at it from the perspective of somebody on Earth One, knowing about Superman and how they see him from their perspective. And the art is just amazing in the whole thing. But these Hollywood writers try to portray the same thing and a story on a visual screen that we don't need that. We need more visuals on a screen that moves and people jump around. You want live action? That's what live action means. I want live action. I don't want to see a soap opera superhero movie or TV show. It makes no sense to me. For me to sit there and watch them in their feelings the whole time that I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, damn, when they gonna use their powers?
I'm not even
When
gonna
they gonna
front.
suit
They
up?
do add in a lot of extra dramatic side plots that have absolutely nothing to
Yeah.
do with what's going on. And I feel as though
Uh,
they planting those little seeds so that yeah, so everybody gets emotionally invested and everything like that.
Yeah.
The thing
That's good.
is, like
That's
I'm
good actually
invested.
because
We didn't
yeah.
need
Well, I
that
mean,
character. We didn't need
that's
that. You
us.
feel me? Like
Yeah,
why
but
they
that's us
said
comic fans. They're doing that for people who aren't comic fans. We're already invested. We're already passionate. We already love these characters. We know them inside and out, like you said, Stu. We know everything about these characters. We want to see the action. But there's the casual audience, the non-comic audience that they're trying to target, and that's where all our complaints come from. Is when they're targeting that casual audience. That's where we're like, da, 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 da. You just have to realize that's what they got to do. They got to give us, it's kind of like commercials. We got to sit through the commercials because that's what pays the bills to give us the show that we want. So it's
Mhm.
like they got to pay the bills. You know what I mean? So we get that bullshit, but we got to read between the lines and get our good shit. But Stu hit it on the head when he said that they don't write as well as comic book writers. And maybe screenwriters should take notes, man. But one guy I think they should definitely start talking to is my man Jonathan Hickman, who
John
y'all
Hickman,
already always,
yes,
yeah,
100%.
y'all already know.
Yes.
Um, that's the homie right there, and he's got this new joint out here called God's number one, and I'm telling y'all, bruh, like,
Is it out? Is it
okay,
out yet?
yeah, oh yeah, they're basically just setting out to reinvent the Marvel cosmology. If you love the cosmic Marvel cosmic shit, this
Yeah.
is like, and if you fuck with Jonathan Hickman, if you don't know Jonathan Hickman, okay, go read House of X, Powers of X. Number one, that's 12. It's 12 issues. It's really quick. You get 6 issues of House of X, 6 issues of Powers of X. Read issue 1 of House, 1 of Power, 2 of House, 2 of Power, 3 of House, 3 of Power. In that order, bing, 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 bing. And it's the illest shit I've ever. It brought me back to buying comics. From the age of 13 was the last time I bought a comic book. Then 2018, I was 44. I started buying comics again because of this series. House of X, Powers of X. So that's how dope it is. And then that the author, Jonathan Hickman, he's more of a writer than a comic book guy. A sci-fi novelist is what I would categorize him as. But if you fuck with sci-fi, if you fuck with novels and deep stories and shit like that, yeah, you know, if you're looking for substance, if you want substance and you don't just want action or the image type shit or whatever, you want some deep. He has whole pages that are called Hickman white pages, and it's just a white page. In fact, it's just a white sheet and there's nothing on it but text. And let me see if there's one in here. Well, it's kind of like how that's there. That's the equivalent in this one. It's just a blank page of text. And he puts those in because like you kind of need that to if you don't need to read them but they're just there to sort of enrich the story and give you some extra lore, you know what I'm saying? Some deep shit to really sink into if you're really into it. And like I said, man, if you're into sci-fi novels, then you already know what I'm talking about. But one of Marvel's most highly anticipated new series has finally arrived. It's called G.O.D.S, G.O.D.S #1. The series has been teased in the pages of various Marvel titles over the past few months. You've seen the ads. And it promises to be a once in a generation title. And like, because it's Jonathan Hickman, man, it's the potential is there. Marvel has kept specific details about the series closely guarded, instead building a lot of the anticipation for the series around the creative team, telling us who it is. That's all we really know about this so far, that it's about the cosmic, Marvel cosmic, and who's on the job. Jonathan Hickman, art by Valerio Schiti, colors by Maria Garcia, letters by VC Travis Lanham, designed by Jay Bowen. And the first issue is this stellar superstar creative team just basically planting the seeds for this great story. And so Gods introduces the powers that be and the natural order of things. That's two. All right, the two groups that have been embroiled in eons old conflict in the background of the old Marvel cosmos. The powers that be, the natural order of things. And this is an oversized first issue, 64 pages. It's huge. It takes full advantage of that extra real estate to basically introduce readers to this central cast of characters and concepts. You've got the Marvel Universe, threatened by a Babylon event, and all the heroic magic universes throughout the cosmos gather in response, determined to like save existence itself. And a lot of details about the powers that be and the natural order of things are sprinkled throughout the dialogue, and they loom, ominously over the issue. And Hickman takes a fascinating approach, to this issue. Readers definitely know this series is supposed to rebuild and recontextualize the Marvel cosmos. And it's expected that the universe altering events and revelations are coming, but this issue doesn't really open with that. Instead, Hickman sort of teases out the background conflict and focuses on the human element, getting a feel for how these new characters sort of fit into the framework of the Marvel universe, is the highlight of this issue. And Hickman sort of gives us just enough information about the larger mysteries spinning around the central conflict, but he knows, he's not spoon feeding it for babies. Like, this is for people who fucking read this shit, and he knows that we are here to care about these characters, before we understand why we're here. It's like I say all the time, Stu, you got to understand, you got to care about the characters, or no one's going to fucking care about the story. And that's how he sets it up. They started off, you gotta he's basically making you care about those involved, and then you'll care about what's going on next. And the issue is a remarkable visual accomplishment, like visually stunning. The artist Schiti, he brings, I call him Schiti, but it's Schiti, I guess. I don't know. It's Schiti. But yeah, he's got a yeah, it's an unfortunate name. I'm sorry. Poor guy. But yeah, he kills it, man. He's got a impressively large cast of characters, instantly identifiable in the crowd. You see them, you know who they are. And then the otherworldly magic that he sort of manifests on the page, and does it all while telling this engaging story. And he's got bringing different environments, world building and all of that stuff is top notch. And Hickman with the mythology and the this is the type of shit I live for. This is my shit, as you can tell. Like I'm real deep into this shit. And but it's dope. I mean, if you're into that, if you're into sci-fi, fantasy, this kind of thing, and you like the Marvel cosmic stuff, this is what you've been waiting for. This is like the essence of all of it brought now and finally into a fucking book that you can hold in your hand. And you can wait for the trade paperback, the omnibus, whatever, but this is definitely one you don't want to miss. If you're doing comics, you have to do this, or you're just not doing it right. Hickman's he's notorious for including the white pages, the supplemental pages of data. Hickman white pages, basically it's like I said, just a white sheet with black text, no frills, nothing, and they basically give you extra details about the characters or the world or the story or whatever. And it's there if you want it. It's not integral to the story. You don't have to read them, which is cool. I think that's cool. But
Read
yeah,
them. Read them. Read
I
them.
I oh
They're
I read
really entertaining. Like straight
read
up,
them.
it's
Yeah.
like it's separate, and in a weird way, it's not real. Like you said, it's not like it really important to what's going. You know what I'm saying, to the story, but they're so entertaining. They
Mhm.
really are. And it's one of those you'd be like, what? Like one day I was just like, man, what is this? I kept running into it. There's another writer for another series, Poison Elves, does the same thing. Now I'm
Mm.
reading this book after book, and I'm seeing this. And I'm like, man, what is this? I snapped one day. I just started reading it. Now I like look for it. It's so yeah, read them. Read them. You have to. You
Absolutely,
have to.
absolutely,
Yeah, you absolutely have to. They're
absolutely.
dope. They
Yeah.
are dope. They're very
I'm
entertaining.
trying to
Very
find
entertaining.
one for y'all to see. Yeah. But God's God's #1. It's out. You can go get it now, I'm sure. Right now also Fall of X is going on. That's what I'm reading right now, Fall of X. And there's a bunch of different titles included in the crossover event. X-Men Red it's definitely one of my favorite. And X-Men Red is Al Ewing. So he's like one of my other favorite writers. It's like Jonathan Hickman, Al Ewing, Chip Zdarsky. Those are the Trinity. That's the ultimate three.
Mm.
Ed Brubaker is up there. Let me see.
Yeah, when Chip the Darsky did that Batman run this summer,
I
that
just
was
got these in, and I haven't
that
packed
was
them to
phenomenal.
read them. Similar, close, same series, same subject. Knights of X, another
What is
five-part
it?
series.
Let me see
Right
it.
here,
Knights of X. Yeah.
another
Yeah.
five-part series. I got the full run because I
Mm-hmm.
was like, let me check this out. So recommend? Yeah, I should read it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
Uh, all right. So
I'm
that's an
on it.
example of a white page, of a Hickman white page right there. That's it.
Mhm.
Very basic. No, like I said, no frills. But it's dope. Like this one will be Prophecies of the Sword Bearers of Morocco. And yeah, a blade of flame, innocence interred, all's fair in love and her. It's just shit. just extra shit. That's one example. Another one will be like it'll be emails back and forth, or text messages, or a memo, or a fucking document, a secret document, or some shit. All different kind of reasons that they do the pages, the white pages, but it's a dope concept.
Breadcrumbs for you to follow clues and things. Okay.
Expansions and basically something to basically enrich the story.
Don't look those over. Do not look those over. Read those. Those are dope. They really
Yeah.
do. It really does add. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
No, it does. It does. It does. And I think it's. I like the way. I like when writers and artists do little quirky things like that. But not quirky in a bad way, but just like they have their own. It's like their own signature on it.
Yeah.
Besides the simple fact that they're writing it,
Yeah.
especially the writer, putting some extra in there, it just draws the fans to it
I think
and
that's
makes it,
also how they
collectible.
identify who as actually reading their work, because a lot of those stories are kind of they're little plays. So then you just feel like I'm not reading that. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't about it, but if you about it, like he said, you
Hmm.
going, you know what I'm saying? You'll know. And I think that's a cool little. It's like a little Easter. It's like hiding in plain sight. Just how cool, how deep it really get.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like having
Yeah.
a story within a story, only those who know or in on the know can really decipher and be like,
Mhm.
okay, you missed this part of it because you didn't read the cliff notes or something like
Right.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. And recently, this like I was saying, I mentioned the House of X, Powers of X, and the story, not the entire story, but some of the aspects of his story that he did. So House of X and Powers of X, if you don't know, it's about the mutants. It's about X-Men. It's about um Moira McTaggart finds out she has actually been a mutant the whole time, and her power is that when she dies, time starts over for everyone. Time starts over, not just for her. Time, and she has reset time like 10 times. It goes deep, and then she figures out like what's going on and how she's trying to stop the mutant massacre, with the Sentinels and Nimrod and the whole thing. It's fucking beautiful, dog. It's so good. But a lot of the stuff from it came from he was actually going to do a thing for DC Comics, Legion of Superheroes. And from what I
Which
understand, that a
which
number of
needs it.
planned.
Which needs it. It needs it. Every time they do Legion of Superheroes, which is a dope idea that DC has, it's just dry. It's
Yeah.
it's it's so far into the future. The
Well,
stories don't never make any sense. They try
they
to
they
come to the
almost
past, but they need to do something in the future.
they almost got
Like
lucky. They almost had Hickman. They almost had Hickman. For whatever reason, the the idea, or whatever, he didn't do it, and the ideas that he was going to use for Legion found their way to House of X. And you know, there's a lot of different idea. We don't know what ideas, but the idea of circuits with mutants using their powers together to achieve different results is something that would have worked across the Legion as well with the different heroes, including resurrecting fallen Legionnaires from the dead, creating Chimera from the Legion, and terraforming planets, creating a galactic peace with a mystery metal. All that happened, and so and then those I think that shit sounds more like Legion ideas than mutant ideas. And what makes House of X so cool is that it's almost like not your typical mutant story, and this is a lot of why. Throw in the idea of Dominion, super heavy singularities forming black holes across reality caused by the denseness of artificial intelligences created by their long dead species, and suddenly it makes a lot of sense. How far of a rabbit hole down you want to go, you know what I mean, but we
I'm sorry, that's too far down a rabbit hole. You said a
yeah,
black hole. You know what a black hole is, right? That is the rabbit hole. That's the
Singularity.
rabbit hole the rabbit don't come back out of. That's too
Right.
far a rabbit hole, man. So let's they
That's
plan on
just too deep.
continuing this series on forward from here on out. I want to see how they, you know what I'm saying, watered it down to play it safe. You feel
Right.
what I'm saying? You know how they always do that?
Well,
So
yeah,
I'm
that's true.
wondering.
I mean, that's one thing, man, is that they didn't dumb it down. They might have, they might have watered some, the extra shit, but they didn't dumb it down, which is nice. And would we have the thruple with Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad, and John Kent Superboy? Would Legion rings
Yeah.
have become Legion gates, taking Legionnaires instantly across the universe? Would they have health with a threat from their own future? A lot of those same ideas were reused, or not reused, but used in this instead of that. I just thought that was dope. But it would have been dope to see him do a DC joint. Hopefully he will. I don't know what he's done in DC. He's been a Marvel guy as far as I know. I don't know what he's done in DC. I could look it up, but if somebody wants to. Yeah, man. Y'all been watching Daryl Dixon?
No, yeah, I haven't gotten into it. 1, 2 is just too many things are popping up.
Mhm.
This Loki stuff and
Yeah.
like,
It's one
It's
that I
just
would have normally
it's
skipped.
just one of them things. I don't want to. When it comes to zombies, and then you be thinking like, yeah, man, he could do it. I could do that shit. I would be right there with them.
mm,
And like, yo, just like in my mind, I want more realistic preparedness just in case there is a zombie apocalypse. I don't want to be out there thinking I'm Daryl Dick. You know what I'm saying? I want to stay at home, barricade. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, get into that mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
well, I
Mhm.
mean, because of like The Walking Dead, you find that okay, you think if an apocalypse type scenario were to happen, you have alternate ways of defending yourself other than guns. So that's
Right.
the thing, that I like about those type of shows. And
See,
you know, I,
that's what I just said. It gets you in that mindset. You better stay inside, barricade, count
Mhm.
your water and your food supply.
I went to
Because
Dick's
if it
Sporting
ever
Goods
pops off,
and got me a bow. Fuck it, I'm killing. I'm not playing. But yeah,
Yeah. It's
stuff.
it's I don't I haven't watched any of the really well, no, I did watch a little bit of the first spinoff. I forget what it was called. Fear. I think it was called Fear the Walking Dead, but I think it was the first spinoff. But I stopped watching Walking Dead around the time, really before the time of the ones that they started, the Whispers, where they start wearing the skin. I kind of fell off a little bit around there, but none of the spinoffs were any good. Uh they just seemed cheap as hell to me, and it just didn't. But this one, it's Daryl Dixon. It's just about him and his, I guess, adventures in France. He ends up in France, and they end up explaining why and all of that. But it's dope, and it's a mini series. It's like 6 episodes or something.
Yeah. Same thing with Maggie and
Maggie and Negan. Yeah,
and that was kind of weird. It was
yeah,
cool, but it
I
was
remember you talking about Daryl Dixon last time, like the little things that they put in. They making Uber zombies. They're
yeah,
making Uber
yeah,
zombies in this Daryl Dixon right
yeah.
now. Yeah,
Yep,
I remember you saying that
genetically
last time.
modified zombies,
yep,
GMO zombies.
yep.
But
And they're fast now. So like, yeah, they got the super zombies where they're fast and they're strong, and they can climb up shit, because other zombies, they just walk around. They don't climb upstairs or none of that really. These zombies run upstairs, chase you, all of that shit. So
World War Z zombies.
right, that kind of shit. So it's a new.
Oh, like yeah, Resident Evil. The
Mhm,
Resident
mhm.
Evil zombies. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And this franchise, overall has done a pretty admirable job of warming viewers up to the idea of this dangerous new genus of zombie, the acid zombie or the boiler, as one of the characters calls them. Is but I think some zombies stumbled onto some caustic chemicals or some shit, but it's not like they're very discerning about their environments or diets. They
Mm.
pretty
It's the
much
doctor. The
go
doctor
anywhere.
did it. I remember he was talking about it. It's the doctor. She's sitting there experimenting on them and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
didn't order this the government. Spoiler alert. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert, it's the government the whole time. But now we got
As in,
fast
Well, nah,
forward
ain't no
superstar
government.
zombies.
Ain't no government. There's no government. It's just it's just this whatever people are doing it. You know what I mean? At this point, and that's the cool thing about Walking Dead. There's no more governments. There's just warlords and different people, different organizations and syndicates and shit like that. It's really it's almost like Star Wars in a way. In some ways, there'll be, different different leaders will come and go, and it's you know Walking Dead was always more about the people than the zombies. The zombies are just obstacles. They're just there. It's just that's sort of the motif. But it's about the
Yeah.
people and what they go through and the survivors, the survivalists, the different, tribes and all of that. And so that's cool, man. But yeah, he uh he's over in France, man, and it's pretty dope. He's the French scientists experimenting on these zombies are definitely going down and uh but yeah, I was a little bit disappointed that it was such a short mini series. But yeah, it's only like 6 episodes, but yeah, it's pretty good, man.
Yeah, I thought it'd
They're
be
doing,
longer than that.
Hmm.
they're doing the Disney Plus route.
Yeah, they
Everybody,
doing that kind of shit.
like, yeah, like look at the Continental, 3 episodes.
That seems like the kind of story that
Now the
6 episodes
Continental got
really wouldn't relate properly. Or is that I would give maybe 9. If it's gonna make a short, maybe 9 episodes might culminate that narrative, that storyline better than 6.
yeah.
Seems a little crunch, don't it?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it. I mean, I guess they make it work, but we'll see.
Plus,
We
we
knew
gotta
they had to do
understand
something.
Hollywood is at an impasse right now. I mean, well, not an impasse, but
Yeah.
it's at a point where they're trying to cut back on everything. They understand now they don't do grandiose so big movie things. That's not what's gonna grab the people. Unless it's a superhero flick, they're not doing anything
Not
super.
even that. They could just stick it to Walking Dead specifically. The Walking Dead, just The Walking Dead, went on for how long? And it's had how many
10 years
spinoffs that
almost.
were unsuccessful? So now you
Yeah,
got Daryl Dixon, which is one of that's the biggest character for real, right? Every time you
yeah.
think of Walking Dead, you see
Oh
this,
yeah,
this dude.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, you do not want to stretch that for real. You want to get in, snatch that little money off the Walking Dead that ran for how 15, however many years, and so on and so forth. You want to be fine, successful, something people actually like that was a spinoff, and then get the fuck up out of it.
Yeah.
But still, 6 episodes. I think at least 9. It should at least been 9. And 9.
yeah,
Yeah. There's 11
yeah.
seasons. They
Nine,
had
nine's a
11
good one.
seasons of The Walking Dead. It lasted
Yeah,
11 years.
yeah. The Continental is good though. Some dope music on the Continental. I'm glad you brought that up, Stu. Continental. The soundtrack is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it is.
is.
They
Yeah,
really,
I watched 1 episode already.
yeah.
I gotta watch the rest of it.
It's
Each
so good.
episode is like an hour and a half.
I know. That's what
So
made it so dope.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So technically, I guess that's like having 9 30-minute episodes.
Hmm.
And you could do a different assassin every time. Like you can focus
That's that
on
John Wick joint y'all saw. What is that on?
Yeah.
Because y'all see, I was
that.
saying, saying it's all
That's on
dope.
Hulu.
Got everybody enthralled.
That's
You
on
ain't saying
Hulu.
what?
Paramount. Paramount.
Is it Paramount?
Paramount.
I thought it was
Oh,
Hulu.
okay. Word. Yeah, hell yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm waiting for the one with what you call it, the one where it takes place in, I think, in China or Japan. This that spinoff with Donnie
Oh,
Yen.
the other
Oh,
hotel.
Yeah,
The other
he
hotel
has.
that was in Japan,
Yeah, but he has. There's a spinoff with Donnie Yen.
Dope.
Yeah, it's gonna be
A
crazy.
John Wick joint.
Yeah, yeah. Because remember the daughter of the dude that had the Continental in Japan is going after Donnie Yen.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So yeah, they're doing that spinoff.
Oh yeah.
yeah. They
Hopefully.
need to. They need
Yeah.
to. Because you got the different hotels. You got different. You could even do different hotels. There are hotels all over the world.
Assassins,
lot you
different
can do.
hotels, stories.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do.
It's kind of
Well,
like
they did.
Hmm?
Now they did greenlight another John Wick. I'm just
Hey, yo, I'll be right
see
back.
what was going to be.
I told everybody he's not dead. It was implied. It was
Yeah, that's what I
implied
think.
that he died.
I think the same. I think the
Did you
same thing.
see him die?
No one seen. All
Yeah.
you seen was
John Wick is
on
one of them dudes. Did you see it? Like you got
Exactly.
proof.
Yeah.
Because if you don't,
Yeah.
Because he wanted to truly be out the game, so he don't want anybody from the high table knowing he exists. Because he's the ultimate killer out of all the assassins. Like this man been through everything
and killed
like,
all the good assassins.
Yeah, I mean he killed
with a pencil.
states filled with
He
assassins.
killed like 22
Yeah.
people with a pencil, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think
Killed
about
Common. Killed Common. Left him on the train.
it,
I can't believe he did that though. But he gave him a choice, eye for an eye. He gave him a choice.
Common is not dead. He's
He was
not
like,
dead.
either you can keep coming at me or you can live. What you want to do?
Common is
So
not dead. He'll pop up.
Yeah, they could bring. Yeah, they could bring his character back too. Yeah,
they will.
Yeah.
They will. They'll tie up loose ends just for that. You know what I mean? It's just
just to bring Common back on screen.
Oh well, yeah, because he's an assassin that wasn't. Yeah, because if you think about all the people that he killed, he just killed them. That was it. They're not coming back, except for him. Why? You know. So now this guy is gonna come back. You know, and maybe this time he comes back thinking that he wanted to kill John Wick, but now he got a team with them because he didn't fulfill
I was just
his
gonna say
promise.
that he gonna help him.
Yeah,
he gonna help him. Yep. Because when you gotta look at it, the
so?
chick killed herself.
Yeah.
Like you want to be
Because
real about it. Like,
Because
I mean,
remember,
you
he
know
didn't
what I'm saying?
fulfill his part, what he was supposed to do as an assassin on the high table. He was supposed to protect old boy. The guy, what's his name?
Put
The
the
one
sister.
that
He was the sister's. He was the sister's.
He was the
Yeah,
sister's,
yeah,
he was the sister's bodyguard. That was his ward. I guess that was like more like a love thing than anything, because you can see it in
then
his
you
eyes.
find out that there
You feel
was
him? That was
brothers
a
and
fight of
sisters.
passion. However, like you got to look at it. After he got off the train, got the knife out of shit, got healthier, somebody would have had to. I mean, there's an autopsy and everything. They would have seen she slit her own wrist. You know what I'm saying?
So it's
So
gonna
there's
be,
a whole storyline. You know, he come back to help.
yeah. Watch, you'll see. Yeah. But I think at this point, when Keanu said he wanted to take a break from it, it was mostly for story and the physical part of it. You know, because that's like physically demanding to do those movies. You know, because he's doing a lot of tumbling, a lot of stuntman rope drop rolls.
Hopefully he's done with Bill and Ted.
You
I
know what
hope
I'm
he
saying?
got
So,
that all out of his system.
yeah,
And
and,
that he
and
can
he's
move
doing the
on.
martial arts moves himself too.
He
You know?
is. He's doing the Jackie Chan, ain't he? And the Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm. That's
Oh,
another
Scott,
one.
I see that last Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Mission Impossible got good for number 3 on out. Once they did the Mission Impossible, J.J. Abrams took over. They were good. They were really good. Yeah, they.
I do know. I seen the Equalizer last night. 3.
Equalizer was good too. Yeah.
It was decent. It was a little bit loose on the story though. Like it starts
so?
off okay. I don't know, it's spoiler alert or whatever. But it starts off the dude wants to take over that little town in Italy for hotels and resorts and gambling, but then it turns into some wild big cartel thing. Then it turns out, he killed the dude's brother, and it just goes off the rails. CIA gets into
Spoiler
it.
alert.
Yeah,
Spoiler
that's what
alert.
I said. I said spoiler alert. I was like, shit had been out for 2 months. Like, you know what I mean? Nah. But it's just it's a little bit loose. The action was there. I mean, it's just a little bit loose. But if you're just going to watch the movie for some action, then cool. But otherwise, it was like some nonsensical parts. I'm like,
I'm not gonna front. They have come out with some bomb ass action. Like I'll say the super like on the Marvel and comic book side, they've fallen off. It seems like just basic, just straight up just action movies. Just action. Like it ain't, you know what I'm saying? It
I
ain't a
think
lineage or a series. It's just an action
you know
movie.
what
It
would
actually
save
been getting
Marvel.
good.
What would save the MCU is they would. Oh, you all right, Reno? You you muted. You're muted.
My bad, my bad, my bad. I was saying, Hickman would save the MCU.
Yeah.
House of X, Powers of X, as the mutant, do your mutant shit. Do Hickman's mutant shit because it's right. It'll rock with the Gen Z. They'll vibe with it, and it gives us all the shit that we need. So all the characters and shit.
I just think they should leave all that Astro going all the way out in the galaxies alone for a while. They should go to street level superheroes.
Well, that's what the
Keep it
show is supposed
realistic,
to
keep
be.
it relatable.
But I
They were
mean,
trying to do the
You know what I'm
show.
saying? Make people fall in love again. Don't worry about
Yeah,
black holes and stuff like that. Like you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Build the story right. And you know what I'm
concentrate
saying?
on some real good characters, like because they got tons of them. Like, bring some new villains out, some villains you wouldn't even suspect being like, whoa, what the hell? The Wrecking Crew. They should have done something with the Wrecking
yeah,
Crew when they had the real chance to do it. You know what I'm saying? Or like with Luke Cage. Bring Luke Cage. Make a Luke Cage movie.
yeah.
Give us the Serpent Society. Build that up. That can always
Yeah.
fall into Daredevil. That can also fall
Yeah.
into, you want Iron Fist, a real proper Iron
I'm
Fist.
not even gonna front. I'm not even gonna front.
You know what I mean?
DC just needs to tap into Milestone. That's an entire different characters, different dude.
Bloodshed.
DC just
Bloodshed. I
put
asked
money
that
into
question.
Milestone,
I,
please.
I
It'll
asked that
trust
question
me.
a few months ago where I said, "Is it time for us to just let go of Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman, and just introduce 3 or 4 more heroes from DC and bring them to the forefront and
That's the
push them just
beautiful
as
thing
hard as we
about
push the big
Milestone.
three?
You don't have to
Like,
let
is
go
it
of Superman. You don't have to let them
no,
go.
no, that
There's
no,
a
that's what I'm saying. Is
whole
it
like
time
you
to
feel
just
what
let
I'm
it go?
saying?
Because we've seen the story of Batman. How many times have we seen they told the story of his parents dying? Same thing with Superman. How many times has he came to Earth? How many times has Wonder Woman left them scared to come fight the world of men? Like, is it you asked the question, is it time for some new heroes to be pushed to the forefront that we can
Yeah,
enjoy?
hell yeah.
And the crazy part
Milestone.
is that's what I'm saying about Milestone. They ain't gotta be new.
Mhm.
Put your money
I'm down
where
with Milestone.
put your money where society is right now. We're not at Superman throwing the car. You feel what I'm saying? We're not at that right now. What we're
Well,
at right now is Dakota City. We're at gang wars. We're at Black Lives Matter. We're at, you feel what I'm saying?
mhm.
Come on,
Mhm.
man. And
Yeah,
it's right there. You feel you don't have to come up with these genius new ideas. The story's already written.
race swapping characters and shit. You don't need a black Superman.
You
You
don't
got
need to do that.
Icon.
You got black
We got
superheroes.
Icon. We got
We don't
Icon.
need
You got
nothing
Val.
new.
You got
We don't need
Valzel.
nothing new.
You
You
got
We
the
already
got
got it.
We got hardware.
blood
We
syndicate.
got everybody already. We got them already.
Yeah, just bring
Give them
them
their
out.
time because the time is now.
Yeah, bring those
Trust
guys.
me. They bust out with a static right now. It's Obi. It's Obi, especially after Miles and his success. It's Obi.
Yeah,
The time is now.
that could be crazy.
Yeah,
That'd
they
be crazy.
they
Shit,
not ready.
you know what I mean?
Man, they
Shit.
need to get ready. What you talking about? They ain't ready. Get ready.
No, they not ready. They
Get
not ready.
ready.
Yeah, I wish they would.
Shit, when they see that money, they be ready.
Mhm.
When they
Mhm.
see that money, they be ready. because it's way past due.
But
Way past due.
they gotta take a chance to get to the money part. If they don't take a chance, they'll never get that money.
You know, I would rather see a Luke Cage movie. I mean, the show
They
is dope,
stay taking
but,
chances, man. Why don't you just?
but that movie would be
I'm gonna give
crazy.
them a chance.
Well,
It's a guarantee. This is what we
start
need.
off the movie, Luke Cage fighting the Rhino. Just starting off, like don't go into no origin, none of that. Just get in the battle in the middle. He's stopping a bank robbery. But my man is really not that mechanical Rhino. He's really the Rhino, big diesel, crazy dude. Just going through, smash.
That's the problem, man. It's like they you know, that would be a movie for comic fans.
Yeah.
We don't need the fucking bullshit. We don't need the origin. Just get right into the action. Let's see, because I already know who the character is. Let's see some shit. But unfortunately, Hollywood ain't that smart. They gotta keep giving they want to keep giving we gotta the casual audience doesn't know. We gotta tell them. No, we will fucking tell them.
Yeah.
We will tell them. You put the movie out, and we're gonna tell everyone how dope it is, and they're gonna run to the fucking theater.
Explain it to you. It's like, see, this is what
what happens
go
every
back
time.
If you're gonna do
now that I told
Spider-Man,
you this,
start
go
off
back.
Spider-Man fighting the Beetle. The
Anything
Beetle
mid story, mid fucking event. You know, we could do that, and we will break it down for the casual audience because that's who we're bringing them to the theater anyway. We brought them in the first place.
Yeah.
The comic fans, we the ones that brought them in the first place. We the ones told them how dope shit was. We the ones explained this. When they went to the movie, they didn't learn everything they learned from the MCU. They went to the movie and immediately turned to the next comic fan they knew and asked questions. I know I got a billion of them. As soon as the MCU dropped.
You know what Hollywood will do? They will make Dr. Doom an anti-hero.
Come on.
Knowing this motherfucker's a real villain.
He's the main
He
big
actually
bad
is
of the
classified
Marvel universe.
nowadays as an anti-hero, believe it or not.
Yeah, like come on.
That's silly
They actually
shit.
classify him
And
as
now
an
he's a
anti-hero
villain.
now.
Yeah, that's that new
yeah,
bullshit.
but he didn't earn that spot. He done done a couple of I don't know anti-hero. So
Yeah, man. I'm like, come on.
Stop trying to
Do
make
Alpha
motherfuckers
Flight.
name.
Fuck around and
Stop
do
trying to
Alpha
make
Flight.
motherfuckers name Dr. Doom into a fucking hero. Let's stop
Yeah,
doing
it's
that
like
type of shit.
fucking Dr. Doom. He's
it's
Doom
his
for a
name,
reason.
man.
His name is his
It's
fault. He
It's
chose
my
that
friend,
name.
Dr.
This
Doom. He
motherfucker could have
cool.
been some other.
He's cool.
He
He's there to help.
literally chose Doom.
Victor Von Doom.
Doom.
And he said,
Like,
call
bro,
me
and
Doom.
he
He
lives
could have
here.
called him. He could have said, I'm Von. He could have changed his name.
Yeah, they call
He
me
took the
Vaughn.
Von off. He said, just call me
He
Doom.
said, yo, Vaughn. Yeah.
Victor
Vaughn.
Vaughn.
It's
Call
Vaughn.
me Victor
You know what
Von.
I'm saying? You'll find
Dr.
out what
Vaughn.
he about if you fuck around. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, it's my boy Vaughn. You know what I mean? He about what he about. But nope. Nope.
Yeah, man, but shit. Yeah, and then
Well,
you got other
Because Doom is like I said, they want anti-heroes because Heath Ledger played the Joker. And people love the villains when they see those movies, especially if they play well. They love them more than the heroes. And so I guess somebody had the idea, well, let's just do a villain movie where the villain's just the centerpiece, and then we'll see how well it sells. Put it out there, and that's what they've been trying to find. They've been trying to find that ultimate villain they can turn into an anti-hero where everybody will love him to come see him just as much as the hero.
Shit, everybody likes
I'm
Doom.
putting people emotionally invested in the wrong places. And then you start rooting for the villain, not realizing, you know what I'm saying, what's going on.
Yeah,
And then
'cause
it puts the characters in a bad light. It's just the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're making us feel for Dr. Doom.
it's like, you know, well, they did the whole thing with Thanos trying to make him relatable, and you know, well, he's doing it
Thanos is
for a
a
good
turd.
reason. You know, he wants to kill half the population, but he's doing it for peace. You know, it's like no, Thanos is an evil motherfucker who's doing it just to build the roster for death.
People is dead.
Like
People
he
are
wants.
dead.
I mean,
He's trying to
like
kill.
Bill Gates is is our
Everybody.
equivalent to Thanos.
Bro,
You
Thanos
really think about the
he's
subliminal.
trying to impress Mistress Death. He wants to be he's in love with Mistress Death, and he's literally just trying to impress her. I mean, that's the dude. Sada, welcome, Sada.
And they said it in the movie. For you to, battle them is to court death. And he starts smiling, like he smirks. Like,
They should have had Mistress Death involved. They should have did it right,
Yeah,
man.
but
But
I've been trying to give these two understanding is that his mission is to wipe out half the universe, and he don't care who he got to kill to do it. But you know what I'm saying. But you're making people emotionally invested in whatever his motives.
yeah, I can agree
yeah,
with him wiping out half the universe. So you can agree with Bill Gates wiping half of the planet out, right?
right. Population control.
Criminals, man. This is all a game. How they do
Telling you,
it, man.
bro.
Like that
Yeah.
Hollywood, they think they slick. They're not slick. They're
And
infantile
now, well,
thoughts.
now the MCU is setting up a new villain to take Thanos' place, and it's surprisingly it's not Kang, and unfortunately it's not Doom. But we'll see. It's Kingpin. They're actually so which Vincent D'Onofrio is the man. So he's got the potential to hold that role, as he's got the chops as an actor. Might seem just like a crime lord from New York City, but if you guys know, he actually draws plenty of similarities to Thanos. He's actually the character was first introduced in Daredevil and made his first MCU Kingpin debut in Hawkeye. And Wilson Fisk is a powerful businessman and a crime lord who has like all powerful influence over New York City. And as Hawkeye showed how his influence affected characters like Clint Barton and Maya Lopez and all of that. But Kang is the obvious villain that's being set up, as the multiverse saga's final battle, and Kingpin is the one who feels more like a successor to Thanos. There's a lot of parallels between the two characters in terms of like personality and influence, and trying to make him relatable and all of that. And I can see it, man, and we're gonna see Kingpin be the next relatable bad guy.
I'm so excited.
Sada,
Wow.
Sada has a
I can't
Yeah,
wait.
can't wait.
evil laugh on
I
that
can't
one.
wait.
She has an evil laugh
Finger
on that one
guns.
there, you know?
Oh no, not an evil laugh. I'm just like it's just kind of a oh man. Like it's like
Yeah,
nothing that comes out is getting me super excited. So it's just like
yeah.
okay, here we are.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Sada, you're
there's
not
nothing
excited for
that's
the Marvels?
really,
You're not excited for the
oh man.
Marvels, Sada?
You said the Marvels?
You think they'd be better off going the Kang route, though?
Yeah.
I
Than
mean,
than going the
I
Kang
thought that
route?
would be the
No,
one for you. I thought that would,
I
I
think
thought that's what it was headed, though, because
yeah,
I
I
don't
feel
like
like they
Kang.
should they
I
already
agree.
started with Kang, so I don't know why they don't just finish that out. They
Yeah,
already started the building blocks.
I
To
just
then
don't know
start
why
the
they
Kingpin makes absolutely no sense to me. But
Kang
that
is a fucking no. I'm not saying that they're trading Kang for Kingpin. I'm saying as far as the relatable hero, they're replacing Thanos with the relatable hero guy with Kingpin. Not Kang. Kang's not going to be the hero the
Yeah,
bad guy that you can
the
relate
only
to.
thing that I heard
Uh,
that people was relating to Kang was successful black man. If they bump into his home, and
yeah,
try to shut it down. That's the only relatable thing. And I heard people feeling for his
yeah.
situation.
But Kang was in my opinion, a poor choice for a big bad. He's a secondary villain. He's a mini boss. He's not a big boss. He's not Doom. Doom fucking plays toys with Kang. He's a bad guy. He's a villain, but he's more if it was Spider-Man's rogues gallery, he'd be Rhino or something. He's not Green Goblin. He's not the main guy.
yeah. Yeah, he's
He's
not this
just
dude. Yeah.
a side bad guy, and you see that because It's not even every movie that we got, Quantum Mania and all of the movies that are, in succession, there's going to be a different Kang in each one of those. There's a different Kang in the show. Each bad guy, each Kang is a different Kang for each movie. And so it loses. He doesn't have any sort of, gravitas. It's a different guy every time. He's got no weight. They're just copies, carbon copies. His
But that
his
is his
power is
weight.
that he's got
If he's a
many
different
of them.
guy every
Many of
time, then you
them.
can keep that story going for as long as you need to. All you need is a new guy.
Yeah,
Right,
but
but
like, at
it's
So
what
that
boring.
right
point does
there
it
is
like
leverage.
become stale to just
It
do
gets
that
Yeah,
every
boring.
movie?
you don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you keep the formula the same and switch it up, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that right there is his weight. That he could at any time. There he is. You know what I'm saying?
I felt like they should have, do the Kang thing. That's cool, but at the end of it, reveal that Doom is the one as the puppeteer the whole time, and then go into some shit like that, and then go phase 6 or something. I don't know, but Kang just ended up being the bad guy at the end. It's gonna fizzle out. The ending is gonna fizzle out. They're looking for a new end game. They definitely ain't gonna get it. Definitely ain't gonna get
Nah,
it.
the Kang.
Not with this Kang.
Definitely.
Not
They
with
don't get
Kang.
it with Kingpin either. So
Yeah,
No,
no,
no.
I
It's
mean,
Kang,
yeah.
right?
Ain't gonna get it with none of these guys that they got out here. That would be a Secret Wars, Doctor Doom shit. That's what they need to do. That's what we need is a big epic fucking Secret Wars and a Doctor Doom. That whole thing, Galactus, the whole thing, man. That's why the MCU is not where it should be right now. That's immediately where they should have went. No, let's go to the fucking Eternals.
No, I'm
Let's
sorry.
do this
I
jump. The
hold it in,
Marvels.
but it's
What the
true.
fuck?
Galactus would say that it would say that. There you go. There's your problem. There's solution
That's,
to
I
all your
mean,
problems right there.
it was the
Galactus, that's
natural,
it. Introduce him. You're good.
yeah. It was the natural succession. I mean, you went up, you Thanos Endgame, and then you went down to Kang and Eternals and You should have kept fucking going. You could have went, Galactus. You could have went Doom. You could have went Secret Wars. You could have kept. You could have really did Secret Invasion the fucking right way. That was a phenomenal story. Get the fuck out of here. Super Scrolls. They could have done that, but they wanted to. Again, I guess they thought they're trying to recreate that Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's use these unknowns and let's do the Eternals and like why? Who's checking for that? Who wanted that? You were on a roll
Nobody.
and then you just fucking stopped.
Well,
And now there's people that don't even think the MCU can get it back. A lot of people think that they're done.
Wow. They do. No, they do. A lot of people do think that. And it's true. A lot of people like, where they go from here? What's next? What do we do?
Yeah, I
That's
don't
where
know,
you
We
because
go
killed
from there.
everybody.
Just
Everybody's either
introduce
old,
this
everybody's either
Galactus.
old,
Just
dead,
that's what you
or
do.
just scattered.
You want to get it back? There it is. There,
I
it's
don't
right
know.
there. It's hiding in plain sight. There you go.
It's time for
The
some new
problem is like
heroes.
phase 4, they were so aimless. And I don't know how they can come back from that. Like they were so aimless. It's one thing to like branch out and I guess experiment and focus on different characters, but like you're supposed to be a universe, you're supposed to be building to something, and the
It's
only
another thing to make
project,
a bunch of movies about nothing.
yeah, like about
Just
nothing. And
nothing.
it's like the only project I can think of that maybe builds to something, I guess, is Loki. I didn't even really watch it, but just the Kang stuff. And I guess Ant-Man Quantumania because it has Kang. Nothing else. Like the stuff with the Eternals. There's a celestial in the earth, and like that's never been talked about. The stuff with Shang-Chi has not really come back. We don't even know if he's gonna come back. It's just like things that happen in these movies are not rippling throughout the other projects, and that's a problem. And it's the same thing with like Secret Invasion. Like I bet you we're gonna keep going, and everything that happened in that show is gonna stay contained in that show. It's not gonna ripple to any other project the same way something
But
like
do you
Civil War
think
should.
this is like their attempt at trying to
Mhm.
make standalone stories? Like
Maybe.
this is their attempt, and they're not quite hitting the mark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're kind of leaving that series where it is instead of
Yeah. I
like
don't
connecting
know.
everything to one big ass. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of
Yeah.
being like, it's the story. They're moving on.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's their attempt. I don't know. Like it's kind of a double-edged sword because it's like you could do projects that are kind of not connected with what's going on, but at the same time, when your entire phase is comprised of that, it just feels aimless when you look at the big picture. So like I appreciate Moon Knight for trying to stand on its own, but again, we had like stuff that happened in there that was so the scale was, it was huge, and that's not talked about. Like if you want to have stuff that's not connected to what's happening on a wider scale, that's fine, but they don't have like these end of the world stakes within these TV shows and like not talk about it. Like it's just kind of crazy to me. So I don't know.
Egyptian gods and shit.
Yeah, like I think like in the episode of Moon Knight, what was it? Was it 2 or 3 where he like literally did he like he did something with the moon? I totally forgot what it was, but it was huge, and it's like that's what I talked about. So it's just stuff like that. I don't know.
Besides
they
that,
can't have it both ways.
I know you were talking about when he like completely turned back time.
Yeah,
When they just stood in the
that was
desert
so
and
crazy.
he was just chilling there and the whole shit.
To the
It's
stars of that old timey
it changed. Yeah, shit went hard though. But yeah, I feel what you're saying. It's just like, oh yeah, just a normal Tuesday. We ain't even gonna talk about it.
Well, they did. Well, the thing with Moon Knight, you have to understand, is introduced to Moon Knight and those gods, brings into the existence of other gods like Talokan. You have Black Panther, the gods that they worship, that all 5 of those tribes worship. That brings all of them into effect, and they can all be used in the MCU to, write other stories or do other things or introduce new characters. Once you introduce Daredevil into the MCU, you introduce the whole Netflix crew into the MCU. That means they now exist just by Daredevil, that one character being in there. That means Luke Cage exists now. That means that Jessica Jones exists now in the MCU. That means that Iron Fist exists in the MCU. And it's the same thing with the gods when they introduced the gods of Moon Knight. And that also introduced Dracula, Frankenstein, all of those monster characters can now exist because of Moon Knight. Like we didn't get the monster verse in there until Moon Knight showed up. Now we can get Man Thing and all of that. None of that can exist without showing Moon Knight and the gods and
The
all that.
werewolf by night.
Werewolf by night. Yeah, we can't get any of that without introducing Moon Knight and then putting in his little, gods and turning back time and the stars and all that. All that has
But
to
that's the
happen in order for it to
problem.
all
That's
exist.
the problem. Is that they're continuing on these stories. Like what we're saying, it's the story and this is that happened at that time, and it's just like, bloop, we just gonna keep it going. You know what I'm saying? To just keep it really solo dolo just on this person. And it's like, yo, you
Well, to
can't,
show
you
you,
can't tell that
well,
story
it's to show you that
without
no, no,
that.
it's to
And
show
that's
you that
kind of
it
like,
exists. Because right now, if they just show the mutants, we're gonna be like, well, damn, where were they at all the time? And it's somebody out there, I don't know who it's gonna be, but somebody is gonna ice skate uphill and they're gonna say, well, where were they at when Thanos had the Infinity Stones? All right, now you can say they were here doing this, or they were always here, but they just weren't involved. Like they try
Or
to stay hidden because
something.
they're mutants. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like you could
they're
write that in.
using the goddamn Loki shit. That's the crazy shit. See, Loki, they're using Loki to do some X-Men shit to weave in the mutants, and that's how they're gonna try to say that they where they've
They've always
been
been
and
there.
all of that. Yeah,
Right.
like they've been on another timeline or some shit.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do it. I mean, we don't know, but yeah, they did. They
I
gave us
can
the
only
whole
imagine how that
Well,
feels to
wait.
go through all
Once
that.
they introduced,
And they just
once
Easter
they
like,
egg
you was
and
introduced
there
shit.
the whole
Namor,
time, my dude.
well, once they
Where were
introduced
you at?
Namor,
Could have used you,
now we
man.
know. Yeah, once they introduced Namor, we now know mutants exist because Namor is a mutant. So now they introduced him because remember, we don't know where he was when Thanos came down to the planet to get the Infinity
And
Stones, but we know he was there. We know he was there according to the last Black Panther movie.
they said Kamala Khan was a mutant.
Right.
Yeah, well, that was bizarre. I
So
don't know why they wouldn't keep her as an inhuman, but that's fine.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, they
fine.
changed their whole powers. It wasn't an Inhuman, the way her powers worked
Because
and
the
everything.
Inhuman show didn't do as well as they thought, and that's why they
Right.
Yeah.
said, "All right, let me
That's
They're
Hollywood.
utterly disgusted by the Inhumans. Like they do everything they can to just like not even reference it for too long. Like we saw it in Multiverse of Madness with the show itself, and with now Kamala Khan, her whole thing is just completely shifted. So I'm just like, goodness.
Forgive me. I didn't
Mhm.
watch the Marvel show. Can y'all repeat what y'all just said about her powers? How did they change that from
Oh,
her from it not bringing out her inhuman powers, but she's a mutant? I'm sorry.
yeah,
No,
she's
she's
like
an inhuman.
she's
She's an
she's like a
inhuman. She's not
mutant,
a,
I
she's an
guess.
inhuman.
Her
Yeah,
thing
because
is
she
like
was
basically
inhuman, and
constructs.
then it
She
was
all right. Hold on, y'all. She wasn't Inhuman in the comics. In the show, she's a mutant. But Sada, break it down how like her powers and all of that work.
Yeah,
'Cause
so like essentially, she could stretch her arms like Mr. Fantastic. She could grow large, she could grow small.
and
In the
big in
show, her power comes from like this band, and it's basically like Green Lantern. Like it's like she can build constructs, and her limbs enlarge due to the constructs. Like it's just all based on that. It's not necessarily her being polymorphic like Mr. Fantastic, if that makes sense.
no,
You
they
kind of
did
see it
not.
in like the
No, they
video
didn't.
footage.
What was up
Oh,
with her bracelets?
Yeah, it's like the bracelets. Yeah,
Yeah, she had some cosmic bracelets or something,
yeah,
right?
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
because
ultimately comes from Kang.
in the
And then
comic,
they
she goes to a party. She gets
yeah,
teased at the party. She's walking home from the party. There's a mist in the air, which, if you're
the
familiar, you know what that
Terrigen
mist
Mist.
was. A Terrigen
Yeah.
mist. And she already had been, she was already like kind of a, like a sleeper inhuman. And then when it brought it out, that's what gave her the Mr. Fantastic. And that night, when she was in the mist, she saw Carol Danvers and a couple of other people. And that's why she took on that role of Miss Marvel. So that's weird that now her powers come from wristbands. That's not how it was in comics.
Yep, exactly.
So that
And
disappoints me very, very much.
yeah, it disappointed everybody. And that's the whole thing with this whole phase and all these shows and a lot of the shit that they've been doing since. It's very disappointing because there's no really rhyme or reason for the stupid changes they're making. It's just like silly. It doesn't, they didn't have to do that. You didn't have to. You could have. It's a lot of things you could have done, but anyway, I digress. This is another. So in Loki, there's a lot of Easter eggs and stuff like that. But let me see if this will play for y'all. You see the X-Men door, y'all remember that? Let me see if I can
Right.
get. Hold on, let me see. Do y'all see? Hang on one second. Let me make sure y'all can. Okay, y'all can see that. All right.
Yeah.
Notice the X on the door, right there, and the circle in the middle. Shut up. Circle in the middle. Circle inside of that. Circle inside of that. Look at that. And it separates just like the door in X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. That
Yeah.
that obviously intentional. But it goes deeper. The what you call it, the obvious reference obviously didn't go unnoticed by a lot of viewers. A lot of people noticed the similarities and put up their little tweets and stuff like that. And but yeah, the X-Men hype, that's going on right now. It's easy to see why Marvel would want to tease the impending arrival of the mutants as much as possible. And Loki too seems to be setting up the events of that movie where Fox's X-Men characters will play a prominent role. Those characters rebooted. The door could herald the arrival of the X-Men variants in the TVA itself. TVA, the whole Loki shit, the whole they have to, this is one of their this is why I said making the whole multiverse thing when they did it way back when they first started doing it, I was like, oh, that's their license to retcon. That's their license to MacGuffin. That's their license to do anything they want and just switch it, put it back, change it, reset it, do it over. It doesn't matter. No rules anymore, basically. And Yeah, and that's basically what they're doing. And with the episode basically having a lot of references to memory wiping, something that Professor X is very adept at. Another theory posts that posits the room to the temporal loom could even be Cerebro, or at least based on Cerebro, as a tool used to pinpoint the location of mutants. And it could be through this area that Kang and the TVA were able to pinpoint mutant variants before, pruning them from their timelines. And needless to say, this would include Fox's X-Men variants with the new branching timelines heralding, their arrival back into the MCU timeline, perhaps starting with the Loki series. And, I think, it's ridiculous. It's a terrible way to do this. But they really don't have a lot of options. What can they do? What can they say about where were the X-Men when Thanos was doing shit? When everybody was in Endgame, how come the X-Men didn't run up? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
So yeah, so they have to explain that, and it's got to be something supernatural or extra, whatever. It can't be just, oh, they were,
It better be good.
they didn't get the
It better
call,
be
or they were chilling.
real.
It has to be
For
something
real.
they were not. Yeah, it's got to be something where they were in another timeline or something, and who knows why and how and why were they there the whole time, and were they ever in this timeline, and are they just not in this universe? Will the MCU mutant universe take place in a whole other timeline? Will the whole series be a whole other timeline? Right? Will that be its whole fucking thing? So who knows, man? Maybe they're gonna do the Ultimate Universe thing. Who knows? But they got to do something, because one thing they cannot do is not do mutants. That's one thing they can't do.
Marvel can't do mutants right
Yeah,
now.
they can't not. They can't not do
Or just
mutants.
won't do 'em.
They can't just it's too complicated. Where have they been? Fuck it, we'll not do it. They don't have that option. That's not a luxury that they have. They have to do the mutants. So they'll think of something.
It's a possible avenue that they can explore that will hold the same weight
I mean, well, but
in the MCU.
Exactly.
Same leverage, same longevity. Like,
you gotta
it's
ask the
gotta be
question:
similar,
why buy Fox and the whole mutant enterprise and all of that, and don't do anything with it? Makes no sense.
Yeah,
And
that's a
again,
waste.
Hollywood makes no sense right now. Hollywood makes no sense right now, but it just it's
Bro,
you can squeeze them in there. I mean,
I'll
it's
tell
a
you
lot. You
this,
could say that they were watching the whole time. And then,
bro.
they
I
said we watched
honestly,
and we were just waiting for best backup. They could do anything.
We were there. We was cheering y'all on. We saw
I'm
the
such a
whole
fan.
thing. It was like, get
I'm
'em.
I'm such a fan of the X-Men, and I'm such a fan of the mutants. And really don't care about the rest of Marvel like I do. Honestly, I would be just as happy if they did not. If they made a whole mutant universe that had nothing to do with the MCU, its own fucking thing. I would really be cool with that, honestly, because the shit in the MCU, I could take it or leave it at this point. And I don't need the mutants to be involved in it. I don't need them to be a part of it. I don't need them to know Thor or any of them people, none of them characters. It doesn't help me out. It doesn't, as a fan, I'm not excited about that. I'm not excited about them doing anything with anybody in the MCU. I'm just excited to see the mutants. And I think if people really think about it, that's really all you want. So, like, they could have their own. Do the mutant?
Isn't that what we
Reason I
just
keep
said?
saying mutants
That's
and
what
not
we just said.
X-Men.
How could you
Reason
do
I
that? How could you
reason
carry that story on and leave people out?
so the reason that
Because
I'm
the
saying that is
X-Men
because
do cross
all right,
the whole MCU, but you
the
know,
reason I'm not saying X-Men, the reason I'm saying mutants is because the mutants in Marvel is a big enough universe to carry itself. It's not just the X-Men. That's a team of like 6 people. That's nothing. There's hundreds and hundreds of mutants. There's tons of teams. There's all kinds of shit. There's tons of shit. that's mutant related that could carry its own universe easily. Dude, there's right now how many mutant titles are in the comics right now? Different titles that are been running.
Mm.
You know, and so like mutants are already their own thing in Marvel. We barely hear. I read currently. I read all of the mutant comics that come out. I read them all as they come out, and none of them. They barely talk about the rest of it. They're just now bringing in this new the Uncanny Avengers is the new shit now, and it's coming in. But you know, since House of X, Powers of X, since 2019, we did just fine without any of the Avengers or anybody else from
You're
Marvel.
100% correct. It's been a lot of them stories have been standing alone for quite some time.
With
They
no
created a
help.
whole other universe. They don't even. It's not even. Yeah, you're right.
So honestly, man, like you want a solution to your problem of where were the mutants? Don't answer that. Keep it separate. I'm fine.
See, that would be ballsy for them to do. Unfortunately I don't think they would
No,
because
they won't. They won't.
yeah, because at some point people are gonna want that interaction between the
Yeah. Oh
mutants and
yeah.
the other people.
Yeah.
So they're gonna like,
Yeah.
okay, let's bring them together. But I agree. I think they could stand on their own. I mean, they really could have an entire phase or saga dedicated just to them.
Well, you know how DC's got their two different Batmans. They're gonna have the Matt Reeves Batman,
Yeah.
Elseworlds, right? So in this mutant universe that I'm proposing, when they do have to talk to a Nick Fury or a Iron Man or whatever, make your own version of that guy, not the MCU's version of those characters. Make your own little version of that, just like DC does, and they've got their own. Make mutants an Elseworlds thing, its own thing. It's Matt Reeves the Batman, you know, that whole universe. And just like where you've got James Gunn's universe, if there's a character in James Gunn's universe, for instance, Batman or any of his villains, and those same characters are in Matt Reeves' universe.
Yeah, I could see that, but it would just be a little because the thing about like with DC, there's so much uncertainty. Like things are so unclear with James Gunn's DCU. So like it's just so unclear. I think if they tried to emulate that in the MCU, I think things would just become so muddy because it's so big already. Like I personally, I wouldn't mind that. But
it remains to be seen how James Gunn's shit's gonna go. So you're right.
Yeah,
honestly, I never compared it.
We don't know.
I never compared the MCU multiverse to the DC universe because you really can't. I mean, look how many times DC has rebooted. No Crisis on Infinite Earth, Zero. You do feel what I'm saying? Look how many times, man.
Yeah, I'm comparing the idea of having the two separate things. The idea of having the Elseworld and then your main universe. I don't know.
DC having two.
Yeah,
DC
they
have the DCU
and everything out. Bring them all back. Completely different. They done it about 4 or 5 times. How many times has Marvel done that?
In the comics,
so you're kind of working with kind of like this singularity of a timeline. But DC
all new Marvel
has made it so at any time,
all new, all different.
They can create a whole new. They've been doing that forever, so I never compared the two. DC been doing this forever.
Yeah, so it's a good idea to follow suit because Wasada's right that we don't know if it is successful because I'm judging that based on the fact that there's a successful DCU and a successful Matt Reeves joint, but technically there is no successful DCU yet because James Gunn hasn't given us shit yet. We don't know if it's going to be any good. So if that does end up being good and there do have two dueling Batman universes that end up being successful, then we could say, okay, that works. And Marvel could do something like that to solve the problem of where have the mutants been in the MCU.
Let me stop you right there. Are you telling me that the DCU hasn't been successful? The DC movies haven't been good? They haven't been doing anything?
No, the DCU hasn't begun yet. The DCEU is what we've been having. The DCU will start with Superman Legacy.
I get that. So when I hear, so you mean the DCU being, you can't really say that because, like you said, you haven't gotten it yet. I feel that. But when I'm looking at Marvel, like as we have it now from the MCU now, and what we've gotten from DC, DC movies are
you can't.
They
Yeah,
did movies.
yeah,
You
but you
feel what I'm
can't
saying? I'm
compare
not mad
the
at it.
but you can't compare
And
the DCEU and the MCU. MCU's been, strong for 10 years. DCU
but
never
you
got
can't
they never
compare them
got
exactly. So when you look at, so for me, when you're looking at, so well, DC, you know what I'm saying, like they did this, but Marvel, can do this. They don't even mirror. Just in the simple aspect of how many times just the DC universe in comics has died and then completely started back over, and then completely. Marvel hasn't done that. Not like that.
they've done it. They've
So
done
they're
it.
only
They've
they're
tried it.
not working with, you know what I'm
They did
saying?
the all new, all different Marvel. They did the Ultimate Universe. They've tried it a few times, but it always goes back, man, because this shit don't work. But yeah, I'm talking about with the movies. DCU. Uh, the technically the DCU James Gunn's shit hasn't begun yet. So if that Batman universe and Matt Reeves' Batman universe are running concurrently successfully, nobody's really confused or complaining. People aren't thinking that part two of this is part two for that. That shit doesn't start happening. Provided all that goes well, then I think it's just a viable option to solve the Where of the Mutants bin problem. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Marvel
Is it
needs
just
a
here? People putting way, way, way too much on this James Gunn DC reboot. For years,
I
people have
agree
been
with that.
kind of leaving sacrifices at altars and talking about it nonstop and really, really like that's. Do you
That's
think
all they
too many
got.
eggs, in this basket? You feel me? Because you
That's
know
all.
what this
That's
thing
their
is.
whole basket. That's DC's whole basket.
But
That's all they
you
got.
know what I'm saying? I understand that, but just like for us as fans, it's getting kind of like to it. It's going like, are we putting to when you don't go in with very, very, very high expectations, it gets easier and easier to not be disappointed. And my thing is, I feel like putting so much faith in this James Gunn, and what if it's trash? What if we get it in the trash?
Well, that's the problem. That's DC's problem. If it's trash, they're fucked.
Yeah, they
They
have no wiggle room. No
they
wiggle
Well,
room.
that's
yeah. This
well. This is
has
why
to
they
be good.
hired
They
this,
put all
and this
their
is why they
eggs
hired
in
James
that
Gunn
basket.
because James Gunn has a good track record, man.
And
He's
that's
made
why they
what
hired
3 good
Gunn.
movies,
I
3 good
understand that,
superhero
and
movies,
there's plenty of
and they saying
writers
they need
and
somebody.
creators that have that. But look at all the pressure that's on this James Gunn reboot. What if it's trash?
Oh,
Is
That's
I
what
mean,
anybody
that's
pretty
right.
sure?
it's
It's
gonna be
not going to
done
be.
for.
It's
Yeah.
not going to be. It's not going to be. It's like if
But
J.J. Abrams did
that
it, it
you're
wouldn't be
right. If
trash
it's trash, they're
because they're
screwed. But
passionate
it's not
about their
gonna be.
work. Mm.
It's
But it's
good
not going
shit.
to be.
It's gonna be good.
It's not. Think about it. Think about it like this. James Gunn did 3 successful superhero movies, and I mean successful.
Oh, he
And
did
they
way
weren't
more
well
than that.
known. Reno always says with the Marvel MCU, everybody knew who Captain America was, but Guardians of the Galaxy came from left field. And the way it's not what he did, it's just how he did it. He made Guardians relevant. You see Guardians everywhere now. Guardians got cartoons, they got extra comics, they got TV spots, TV spots, they got a Christmas special. Like his success with Guardians paved the way for all of that. DC's like, well, look, maybe he could do the same thing for us and our heroes because the people we've been using, you know, just just haven't done what they've done. We've done it with the anime because who we hired to do it, but not because of the live action stuff just ain't hit. We got to make it hit. We got to make it like when they did the Justice League. All the actors kept saying, "Wait a minute, we filmed way more scenes than that. The movie is shorter. Wait, whoa.
Hmm.
It was like, and it was better. And everybody rallied together in the world and said, we want to see that movie. They released it and it was a hit.
Oh, they
And
fired
because of
Homeboy in
that,
the middle of it and then hired somebody to take it over. And when he did, it was like three-fourths of the way shot, and they fired Homeboy, the director or whatever.
well,
And then
no,
they hired another dude.
no, no,
When
no,
he
no.
came
They
in,
didn't
he
fire. No, he didn't
trashed
get.
Snyder. And when he came in, he
No, he didn't
trashed
get
like
fired. Remember his
98%
no. Remember
reshot
their
all this
daughter.
shit. And that's
I
why he
know.
got
Remember his
decided
daughter?
to.
They had a problem with the daughter and the
Josh
wife, and then
Whedon.
they had to quit. It was something. It was something with the daughter and the wife, and they had to quit shooting. And they just like, look, we can't do it,
But like you gotta
and they
kind
had
of
to
give
go
it
deal
to
with
him
life.
because they let Snyder have that. They gave him his movie back. You
Yeah,
feel
they
me?
did.
So you gotta give him that. You feel what I'm saying? Just in,
That was reluctant. If the fans didn't fight as hard as they did, we would have never
they
seen
would
that
have
movie.
did it.
Let us be very clear.
Yeah.
That was not on the strength of WB being like, okay.
No, man,
Nah, that
that
was
was the
on the
strength of
fans
us
being like,
right there,
give us the
yo.
movie.
That's a
There
representation of
was, you know
Dixon
what? There was
right
some
there.
cigar chomping guy back there that said, you know what? Put it out. Let's see what it does. And it did good.
Yeah.
Instead of just some young hipster saying, "Well, we're not going to do that. We need to move away from that. We're going to do, that's not what it is right now. We need to be like Marvel." There was some older
Hmm.
cigar chomping guy that said, "You know what? Put it out. Let's see what it does. We ain't losing nothing. It's going straight to video. We get our numbers instantly, and we get our money right back." And it did well because I own
Yeah.
2 copies of Justice League. I own the extended
Mhm.
version, and I own a regular version.
Yeah, I rewatched it recently, and that movie holds up
So it can be
quite
done.
quite
Which
well.
You
one?
can. I don't think James Gunn
Snyder's
is going to
Justice
fail.
League.
Oh, the
I like
Snyder Cut.
Mm-hmm.
James
When
Gunn.
you watch it again, the 4 hour joint.
Yeah, I watched it recently with my friend, and
Yeah.
it holds up quite a bit. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. And James Gunn, man, he did the Watchmen movie. He did Brightburn. He did a gang of shit though. He's
It
done
explains a
he's
lot
done a
more.
lot of shit.
It explains a
Suicide
lot more.
Squad and Guardians.
But that's what I'm saying. There's so much pressure on him. What if there's so much pressure for him to do
The
well that it
Suicide
doesn't?
Squad.
Do you
I
feel what I'm
mean,
saying?
what
Like
if
that shit happens like in the
it might
world.
be? It might be, but I don't think so. I think he's got a good plan. He's got a good team
Yeah,
as well. It's
I don't
not
think
just
he's got
him.
it.
It's him and
I don't
Zafran.
think. Yeah,
They'll do their thing, but
yeah, I think he do.
no one's ever gonna do movies that everyone's happy with. All they have to do is make a profit. That's all. It's like whether we give it our comic book nerd stamp of approval or what. I just hope that they make enough money that they can keep making movies. That's all. Because if this doesn't go well, if James Gunn doesn't deliver or whatever, then yeah, they probably won't keep doing movies. That'll be the end of DC movies for a long time, long time. So yeah, we hope they do.
Long
We hope it
time.
does good. But
Okay,
And
right.
that's not
listen,
pressure, man.
But I,
That's
I
not
got
pressure.
faith. I
there'll
think
always
I
be
That's
like
there'll
James Gunn
always
as a director.
there'll always be
He'll be
Batman
good.
and Superman movies, whether there's a DCU and comic book movies and all that. They'll always do a Batman movie. There'll always be a
Yeah,
Superman movie.
because that's the
That's
goal.
Hollywood.
That's
That's
the goal.
Hollywood.
It's
Yeah,
bankable.
right. That's
Yeah,
the
they will
go-to.
always do that.
It's Hollywood's go-to superheroes right there.
Yeah.
And I think they added Spider-Man to that list. They could anytime they do a Spider-Man movie, it's gonna blow.
Yep.
So, but it's all in the air right now. Ain't nothing, bro. I remember a time when I thought, bro, that the MCU was just the most just it was never gonna do wrong. That was just the place to be. Like, every Hollywood actor, everyone in the industry, that was where everybody wanted to be in the MCU. Everybody wanted to get in the MCU. It's not that way now. Actors and shit still want to do it, but it ain't like it was. The frenzy ain't there no more. And some actors are like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do it. A lot of some
they want to
actors.
make sure they're
Doing
not
the
locked
same
in for
damn
6
role
movies.
for goddamn 20 years straight. And they can't get out of the contract. When it's time to film, they gotta be there. They can't say no. And
Yeah,
so
that's
the
the other
actors
thing.
is kind of like, I'm not doing that shit. Like they looking at Don Cheadle and them being like, I'm good. Chris, that's on you. I'm good. I'm not signing them contracts. It's not even worth it.
Yeah, that's what it really is. If they want to do it, they're going to make sure they're not locked in the way the original actors were kind of locked in for like 10 some movies or whatever. Like, they're
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe like 2 movies, and then we'll see.
You've
Right.
been doing that shit your whole life.
Like how it
You've
used to
been doing
be.
the movies for how long? Chris was Thor for how long? And how many movies? Oh, how you know what I'm saying? You get burnt out, man.
Yeah.
And then people aren't signing up for it no more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big
man.
blockbusters are only good for the superheroes now. Everything else is the budgets are smaller.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
and
is
that's
honestly
sad.
better for some movies because I feel like even the movie superhero movies we have now, there's no need for some of them to be like $300 million budgets. 'Cause it doesn't
Exactly.
show on screen. Like, where's the money going? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. Put
Money
that money
laundering.
money laundering, right? Yeah, it's going in the pockets. That's going in the Bentleys and
Money
the
laundering.
yeah.
I guess that
Yeah.
was the source of the whole strike, won't it? They was
If
like, wait a
you
minute, since we ain't seeing it, it ain't in the budgets, it ain't in the movies, it ain't going to the actors. So what y'all doing with it?
It's going
You
in the
know?
fight award right now.
Oh, yeah, that's where it's going for real. Jeez.
mm, mm. Well, season 2 of Invincible celebrates an incoming release date with a new video. They've got Amazon Studios delivered a special episode focused on Adam Eve back at Comic Con, and fans liked it, but it only made us, it made the wait for season 2 seem even more like, okay, where the fuck is the show now? Then, like I thought, it was like, but then they took it away again. It's like that. But now there's a new promotional post from Invincible's Twitter account teasing the show's season 2 premiere on November 3rd, and the clip memes a moment from season 1 where Machine Man inserts a chip into his head and upload that he clearly is enjoying, and here the chip represents the short 30-day wait until the new episodes are here. And let me see. Think that maybe I can show y'all the giant right now. Bang, 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 bang. There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's nice. That works nicely.
I'm
Or
dead.
so yeah, but yeah, that's Invincible season 2. Yeah, November 3rd. That's our date. So November 3rd, y'all. What can you
About
expect
time.
November 3rd? Yeah. I don't know. The most recent trailer teased a few things. Mark gets to spend some more time with the alien Alan, Alan the alien. His relationship with Cecil seems to be fraying. Immortal Man has it out for Invincible, and Doc Seismic is back. You got J.K. Simmons, Omni Man, obviously returning, of course, and it's unclear how far into the comics this season's going to go, but the show has a tendency to mix stuff up. They tend to dip into later stories and bring it to the beginning. And if you read the comics, you would know that they did that in the first season. So we'll definitely get some dipping around for season 2. One big plot point that's already confirmed for the new episodes will be the introduction of Angstrom Levy, the multiversal villain who is one of Invincible's strongest, most powerful villains, foes. Yeah, his introduction also means Invincible is one step closer to his Spider-Man crossover. So we'll see what
Yes.
happens.
And Omni Man who's going to be in Mortal Kombat 1, will be revealed this weekend at Comic Con.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be dope.
So
Yeah,
we should have
the
a
Invincible,
Spider-Man
the
reveal trailer for everyone.
oh yeah, Robert Kirkman, the guy that made the shit, invented Omni Man and Invincible, and same guy did Walking Dead and Daryl Dixon and all of that. During an interview, he about the season 2, he said, going into season 2, it's led to us doing more of that risk taking and really any kind of crazy, interesting idea that comes up. We're emboldened to kind of dive and go for it because of how many people responded to a lot of the wild swings in season 1. So if people think that, and now I'm making people think that season 2 is going to be super weird. It's not. If you like season 1, you're going to love season 2. I mean, opening the show with 2 security guards talking about nonsense for like 4 minutes. The Cahor beat at the beginning of episode 5, where you're just in Egypt and there's this mummy guy coming back to life, and when it's like, we're not doing that later, just stuff like that. There's a lot of different ways into episodes. When they asked him about some of those wild swings that he was talking about in season 1, that's what he was talking about. They asked him something like, well, he teased that basically the post credits. He said almost every episode of season 2 has its own like little intro that takes you into the story in a different way, and it's just different things with our post credit scenes, because every episode has a post credit scene where we tease an upcoming story or a comment on something that happened. So it's just a lot of interesting stuff like that. So there'll be post credit scenes after every episode. That's interesting, I guess. And then he said, when they asked him what they said. They said, Kirkman did blah, 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 blah. He said every now and then there'll be an episode that ends so brutally. It's like, we're not doing a post-credit scene. We can't come back from this. You know what he means. So like, I like that too. When like in it's like an example of like how in Game of Thrones, at the end, first of all, at the end of every episode, the credits roll and a song plays, and usually the theme or something plays, and da 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 da. When the Red Wedding happened, that shit was just silent, just a blank screen. And everybody watching was just, what the fuck? So they'll be doing that kind of shit. And since post-credit scenes are kind of a staple of the superhero genre, and Invincible is partially a satire targeting those stories, it makes sense that he would, keep doing post-credit scenes. And, it's kind of part of the whole satire on the superhero genre that Invincible really is. And they're dope. They're fun. Fans love them. Yeah, look out for that November 3rd, y'all. And let me see. It is about 9. It's almost 9:30. We about to wrap it up, guys. But I thank you guys. I guess Cooks did not make it. But we thank you guys as always for coming to chop it up with us and hang and do that thing and kick it with us. And I know Sada had to bounce, but thank you guys for coming and chopping it up with us, man. Raw Talk, Bloodshed, Stu Dog, of course, man, and everybody that's in the audience chilling, chopping it up with us. Slade, Corey, Johnny Quest. Who else? Anybody that chatted, man. And guys, also, if you came in late or you didn't see the beginning of the show, rewind it. It was dope. Leave a comment in the comment section. Hit that like up. And we'll see you guys every Saturday and every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right?
Indeed.
Peace.
Peace.